Okay, we found some chicken at the grocery store the other day and we brought home a bunch of it, so now we're going to vacuum pack that. Roll out as much bag material as you need to cover up the quantity of chicken that you're going to do. Run the heat seal bar and the razor blade across the top of the bag. That will heat seal the bottom edge of your new bag and make a bag for you. Now it's important at this juncture to remember that any time that you put chicken or any kind of product in a bag, that you make sure that you have an air channel to get the air out of the bottom of the bag. In other words, if you pack the bag real tightly from edge to edge, chances are it's going to jam up the airflow and you're not going to be able to get the air out of the bottom of the bag as efficiently as if you leave yourself a little bit of air channel so that the air can get removed from the bag. Remember, one of the basic reasons that these vacuum packers work at all is because the air channels in the bag allow the air to get expressed from the bag even after the bag collapses. But you can't block up the air channels and expect to get the air out of the bag. So let's make sure we don't have any chicken sitting in our heat seal. Put one surface under, one surface over, and make sure that the outside edge of the bag lands on this black pad and that we don't have any food particles across the heat seal bar. Clamp it in, activate the pump, and let the air get sucked out of the bag. And make sure that all your air gets pulled out of the bag. And on the VacUpack, you can lift up the lever and stop the pump if you have an air bubble or a pocket that needs to get moved over to where the machine can grab a hold of it. And that way you can get all of the air expressed from the bag, even in and out among the pieces. Run the heat seal, let the machine shut itself off, and that'll give you a vacuum packed bag of chicken. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, we found some shish kebabs down at the store. The manager had them on special, so we're going to open these up. Now the challenge here is that we're going to have a pretty sharp spike at the end of the shish kebab skewer. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to take a little piece of that original packaging and cut it off and place it on the end of that shish kebab skewer. And that way those sharp points won't puncture our bag material. So lay out your shish kebab next to the bag material, roll out as much bag as you need. Remember to heat seal and cut at the same time. Now, place the shish kebabs into the package. And we're going to put both of them in the same package. So we'll just put them one right next to the other. Get that guy down inside there. Now, when you want to reseal that package, put one surface of the bag underneath the nozzle, one surface goes over the top, clamp it in, and remember to make sure that your machine is pointed at what you're doing. Make sure the jar port is not activated and that the bag port is. Clamp it in, activate the pump, and let it work. Keep an eye on the product, so you might want to stop this a little bit sooner than you might normally. And if it's looking okay, then just let her pull till the gauge goes from red to green. Push the lever all the way down. That'll run the heat seal bar and seal your bag shut. So the other day I was out shopping at the grocery store and I found this package of one-step guacamole. So it's just thaw, squeeze, and serve. I thought this was a great idea. Turns out what they did was they took 3 avocados, vacuum packed them into a bag with little bits of salsa on the inside of those little avocados. Now this package of already made guacamole was $9.95. The other day guacamole was on sale in its unreversed form as avocados. They were only $1 a piece. So for that same $4.50 that I got half a package of guacamole out of, we can cut and shape into our very own squeeze and serve guacamole. And you'll find that avocados will keep fresh in a vacuum sealed environment for more than a year. So now we're going to open up all 3 of these avocados and make our own manufactured guacamole. Okay, so what we've done is to peel the avocados. And we'll... Okay, so now that we have prepared our avocados, just like they packaged, right, just as though they packaged them in the freezer, we're going to roll out enough bag material to make us a 6-pack of avocado halves. Heat seal and cut the bag in that one operation. And now we're just going to place those avocados inside the package the same way they did at the grocery store here. And we'll vacuum pack them. And we'll make our own guacamole out of avocados. Remember, one surface of the bag goes underneath and one surface of the bag goes on top. Make sure it lays flat across the heat seal bar. Clamp it in. Activate the pump to start pulling the air out of the bag. And once you have created a vacuum, the indicator will go from red to green. Run the heat seal bar and seal up those avocados. Those are now ready for the freezer and you can enjoy them later on in the summer. I used to shop at a grocery store almost every night on the way home from work. Lately I found that when you buy things in bulk and repackage them in your freezer, you don't have to stop at the grocery store anywhere near as often, and your overall food bill gets cut down dramatically. If you have small children at home, you know that they hardly eat all of anything. So generally, around my house, I only give them half an apple to start with. I take the other half of that apple, roll out a little bit of bag material, heat seal it, and cut it. And then reseal the other half and give it to them at a later time. That way, I don't find half an apple laying around underneath the couch. You know how that goes. Vacuum pack it and seal it. That apple will stay fresh in your refrigerator for weeks, not just one day. So let's talk about root vegetables, carrots. Onions are a good root vegetable. What I find is that every time I use half an onion, I always have about half an onion left over. So anytime that you cut an onion, when you want to vacuum pack that onion, make sure that you cut off the ends and take the first layer of onion on the outside off so that you just have a piece of onion. Roll out a little bit of bag material, heat seal it and cut it. And remember that you're going to reuse this bag for the next piece of onion that you use next week. So you're never wasting bag material and you're never wasting food. Reseal it, heat seal it, and if you're doing something a little bit juicy, make sure that you get a good seal across the top of that bag by running the heat seal more than just once in the same place.